let's jump right in. We're talking about something that's popping up everywhere these days for stress, ashwagandha tea. But here's the real question we're digging into today. Does it actually do anything?
You know that feeling, right? When you're just stressed out, totally overwhelmed. I think we've all been there, looking for something, anything to just take the edge off.
And that's where this ancient root, ashwagandha, comes into the picture. You see it in powders, you see it in supplements, but a lot of people are trying it as a tea. So that's what we're going to focus on. Does the tea version really live up to all the hype?
Okay, so before we can answer that, we gotta cover the basics. First things first, what even is ashwagandha?
So it's the root of a plant, and its fancy name is Withania somnifera. In traditional medicine, it's known as an adaptogen. Now, what does that mean? Well, think of it kind of like a thermostat for your body. The idea is that it helps you adapt to stress and just manage it better.
So how is it supposed to work?
Well, the theory really boils down to something called the cortisol connection. Okay, so cortisol. This is your body's #1 stress hormone. When things get intense, your body pumps this stuff out. But when your levels are high all the time, that's when you start feeling anxious, exhausted, just completely worn out.
And this is the big claim right here. The whole idea is that ashwagandha might help bring those high cortisol levels back down. By doing that, it could, in theory, nudge your body back towards a more balanced, less stressed out state.
All right, this next part is maybe the most important piece of the puzzle. We have to talk about the huge difference between the ashwagandha tea you buy at the store and the supplements that scientists are actually studying.
Okay, look at this number, 300 to 600 milligrams. The studies that show ashwagandha helping with stress, they're almost all using concentrated extracts in this dosage range. Remember that number, because it is absolutely key to understanding what's really going on.
So let's break this down. On one side, you've got the extract. That's what researchers study. It's concentrated. It's got a standardized dose. You know what you're getting. Then you have the tea. There's almost no major research on it. It's way, way weaker. And honestly, the dosage you get in a single cup is a total mystery.
Yeah, I mean, you just really don't know what you're getting with a cup of tea. Think about it. How long did you brew it? What part of the plant did they use? Where was it even grown? All of that can change how strong it is. Plus, and this is a big one, many of the active compounds in ashwagandha don't dissolve very well in water. So it's not the same thing they're using in the lab. Not even close. Okay, so let's shift gears for a second. Whether you're thinking about the tea or supplement, there are some really important safety things you've got to know about.
First off, some people get an upset stomach or nausea, so be aware of that. But way more important, this is not a substitute for medication you've been prescribed for anxiety or sleep. And because it can interact with other drugs, you absolutely have to talk to your doctor before you even think about trying it.
And here's another thing to keep in mind. Experts say it's best not to use it for more than 3 months at a time. And why is that? Well, it's simple. We just don't have enough solid research on its long-term safety. And this part is non-negotiable, okay? If you are pregnant or breastfeeding, you need to avoid ashwagandha completely. There just isn't the safety data to say it's okay. All right, so let's zoom out a bit and put all of this into the bigger picture of how we can actually effectively manage stress. Now, I know some of you might still be curious and want to try the tea for yourself, and it's usually made by just simmering the powder in water or milk. And hey, that can be a really comforting little ritual. But it's so important to put that ritual up against the things we know work. Because let's be real, the most powerful, scientifically proven ways to beat stress, they aren't found in a teacup. They are the boring but essential habits. Getting regular exercise, making sure you get enough quality sleep, and fueling your body with a good, nutritious diet. That's the real stuff. So after all that, what's the bottom line? What's the main takeaway here? Here it is. The concentrated ashwagandha extracts, the stuff they use in scientific studies, they do show some real promise for stress relief. But the ashwagandha tea you find in stores, it is a much weaker, much less potent, and pretty much unstudied version. They are just not the same thing. And that really leaves us with a final big question to chew on. In this whole search for wellness, how much weight should we give to popular trends versus the proven, everyday habits that we know for a fact make a real difference in our lives?